Hi everyone. Today I'm going to explain you about the chapter computer languages. So like how we have languages to communicate to each other. So we have in Japan, you can see Japanese we speak, and in India we have different lots and lots of languages. In based upon different states, the language what they speak varies because they want to share their thoughts, communicate so that the other can understand. The same way, computer has also different languages to perform different tasks. Say, for example, we have here programming languages. So, what do you mean by programming languages is that allows us to communicate with computers that are called as programming languages. Here we have computer usually uses the binary codes, binary numbers, zeros and ones to communicate, to do all the tasks, all to perform different various actions or instructions what we give. So that is called as the computer can understand only one kind of language or one type of language is made up of zeros and ones, and that's known as machine language or binary language. And we have three terms here, which is called program, programming, and programmer. Say, for example, you have your mom, your mother, usually what she will do, she keeps giving you instructions that it's time for your school, get ready for your school. She keeps giving you different instructions. And those instructions are called as program, which means a set of instructions. And this she's not doing for a day. She keeps doing it for day wise, week wise, month wise, and year. She keeps on repeats the task. And that's process of doing the task that all the set of instructions is called as program. And the person who gives you or writes you instruction or sets you instruction, they are called as programmer. Hope you're clear with the three terms: program, programming, programmer. Now, in the computer languages, we have majorly categorized into two levels, like low level languages and high level language. And low level languages means it's mostly it's made up of machines. Those olden time people believed that machines can help us or reduce the task of the human. That's what in low level languages the more dominant was the machines, the hardware. So let me explain what is hardware and software. Hardware is nothing but the machines. The like we have the monitor, the keyboard, and then the mouse. All these comes under hardware, the physical components which you can touch. That's called hardware. Software is something, the applications what you use is called software. Like the Zoom, Canva, all these tools to learn different languages we use, all these softwares, even the operating system, all these are software. The applications what we use in a device, that's called software. Now, low level languages mainly focused on hardware. We had huge and huge hardwares in those generations mean nothing but the olden time what kind of tools they have used in olden generation. Software is nothing but all the applications. From third generation, third, fourth, and fifth, we have software. So coming to the hardware, in the hardware, we have, and I mean, coming to the low level languages, we have two generations, the first generation language and the second generation language. Now, in the low level language, if you see, they are saying the languages that deals with the computer's hardware components and are directly executed without any translator. Okay, translator is nothing but that makes a conversion. Say, for example, you have Google Translator. In case if you're not clear with any terms or the words what is said by a person in a language, like if someone is coming and communicating to you in Japanese, you will not understand unless or until you are aware or you are clear about that language. So if we are not aware of that language, what we can do, we can go to Google Translator, or there are some apps which can translate or which can tell us in our own language what that person is trying to convey. So that's the role of the translator. So here in low level language, we didn't have any translators. And the program written in machine dependent language can run on one particular type of computer only. So say for example, you're watching a video, we change it from one place to, like, in one device you can watch a video, like, and then you shift to another device. Like you transfer it either through pen drive or any devices, you transfer it to other device and you watch it. But that's not the case in the low level languages. The machines, whatever you design something, you can see only in the low level language, not in different devices. And in first generation language, we have it's used directly with our translator, and machine language mostly use the zeros and ones, since computers can only understand the binary languages. The zeros represent off state, the ones represent on state. Coming to the second generation language, these are called as assembly languages. And we used a term called mnemonics, the symbols, the alphanumeric symbols called mnemonics. Mnemonics, nothing but these are called mnemonics. For addition, we were using the symbol like add, multiplication, MUL, subtraction, SUB, division, DIB. These words, these keywords, these mnemonic words were used instead of binary code in second generation language. And the person who's writing, the programmer who's writing, they need to know the abbreviation of this. So this is also called a symbolic language. These are the features of that particular generation. And we had advantages and disadvantages in every generation languages. And talking about the advantages, so it is directly, all the codes are executed directly by the computer without any translations. As they have mentioned here, there is no translated at all in this particular low level languages. These code use less memory space. So the memory space what it was using is very, very less. Disadvantages. A challenging language, this is a very challenging language to learn, and it was hard for many people to learn, and if there is any issue or a bug, it's hard for them to fix. Only who is efficient and who are experienced in fixing them were able to do it. And here also it's second generation language, we have the advantages and disadvantages. Though it is easy to write like in mnemonic codes, but not everyone was able to do. It was time consuming and also mission dependent. Mission dependent in the sense, if you design a software in your laptop, only you can access it. If you cannot transfer to anybody. So these were the disadvantages we had in the low level languages. For this, we are going to move on to the high level language, the next generation languages. 1 minute. So here coming to the next generation languages, high level languages. If you see here, high level languages, these are mission independent. Mission independent in the sense, if you design any software like our operating system, you can use it in any device. So it was designed by one person in one device, but it can be accessed in many different devices. We have Windows 10, 11, 12, like as the Windows been upgraded, many can adapt or many can install in their own devices. So this is the high level languages. All the languages, high level languages are mission independent, and they can run in one computer as well as in another computer when you install. And it's most closer to the human language. Like what are the languages we communicate? Like English language, it's similar to the English language. So it's easy for us to understand and also code. There are 3 generation languages here. The third, fourth, and fifth. Let me take one at a time. The third generation language here, they are called as procedural language. It resembles everyday languages like English languages, and it includes the math symbols like addition, multiplication, all these math symbols it is using the third generation language. Examples for third generation languages: Fortran, COBOL, BASIC, Pascal, C, C++, Java. All these are the third generation language. We have advantages as well as disadvantages in every generation language. It's very easy, user friendly, and as it employs everyday language. The basic language is what we use. The similar way it is coded. And it uses mathematical operators, the third generation language. It requires compiler or translator. So that was a disadvantage. All computers do not use the same compiler. So it was not using the same compiler. It was keep changing. The compilers were keep changing in different computers. That was a disadvantage. Coming to the fourth generation language, here it's a non-procedural language. It uses sentences more like the English language what we communicate. And we can easily read and understand the instruction what is written, and it runs on any platform, like it can be MacBook or Windows or Linux or Unix, any platform it can run. And these are the examples like SQL, Wave, Python, Perl, PHP. These are the examples of fourth generation language. Advantages: they are easy to understand, requires less time to create the application, and it's less prone to errors. Errors also, it is not making much errors. Memory is consumed by more, so it is taking lot of space. and poor control over hardware. Hardware was not that convenient. Fifth generation language, it's a natural language. It is more of artificial intelligence, AI, which is the generation which we are moving on. Right now, we are in the fourth generation and we are using more of software tools to develop things, and everything is in machine independent. And as we move on to the fifth generation, which is going to be dominated by the artificial intelligence, all the instructions will be coded by the artificial intelligence. Say for example, even the word, you have the Grammarly, when you start typing them without even if you have spelling mistakes, it automatically corrects or it highlights what kind of some error is there just by underlining red color. So all these artificial intelligence tools are going to be taking over in the fifth generation, and we have advantages and disadvantages. So machines can make decisions just like humans. So machines are going to dominate the humans. Like we have seen many robots movies, like robots taking over the humans. That is what the AIs are going to do. And it's easier than the third generation and fourth generation to learn. And it has some disadvantages, like you have to code a long, and it's also expensive. All these resources are very expensive. This is about all the three generation languages, third, fourth, and fifth. Now coming to the translator. What do you mean by language translator? Language translator is nothing but, so as I said, Google Translator, we have to convert some different from different language, from foreign language to your own native language or your own language. That's a translator. That's the role of a translator. And the language translator, this is a software that converts high level language instruction to machine language. Because for a computer to understand our instructions, we have to translate it to its own language, like zeros and ones. You can't give a English code like languages. You have to do a translation. For that, we have the translators, and there are three different types of translators. That's called assembler, compiler, interpreter. Assembler, it converts the instruction written in the assembly codes into machine code. And compiler, it is converting the high level language program into machine language. It changes the whole program into machine language all at once after fixing the syntax error. Syntax is nothing but instruction we say in computer terms as syntax. Assembly language, assembly coder, all these things is used in the second language. Like for mnemonics, we use these assembly codes. Compiler is used in the all the third generation, fourth, fifth, we are using the compiler and interpreter. Compiler, what it will do, it converts the high level language into machine language in one, like it will change the entire program at once, not line by line. If you give 100 lines of code, it converts into the machine language in one go. But interpreter also do the same conversion, like high level language to machine language, but it will do the conversion line by line. That's the role of the interpreter. And we have source code and source program, all these things. So any program written in assembly language or high level language is called source code. So what we're coding in Java, Python, or C++, or in the Scratch, whatever you are coding, that's called the source code. But the computer that converts it to machine language and using a translator, that's called object code or object program. And this is how it works. See here, high level language, we are giving a code like this. A equal to 25, B equal to 35, and C is equal to A plus B, which means A and B, it is going to add together 25 plus 35, and the result will be 50. 60, okay? The result will be 60. 25 plus 35, it is 60. And this A, B, C, the computer will not understand. So these numbers also will not understand. We are going to take this as input to the translator program. It takes that input and that converts into a low level language. Which means the binary codes, these numbers, all the machine language it will convert. And from there, the computer will again, after doing all the process, the machine language is converted into the high level language to us. Hope you're clear with this chapter. Go through the entire chapter and work on the book back exercise. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. Thank you.